Did that count?
They're counting it.
And they are counting it. That's how
What
you
a
win the first
momentum
half.
turn.
Crimson Tide crowd is coming alive in a big way, and you can see the 5 players in the court for the Tide are feeding off.
Big showing from families, the student body, a great amount of staff here tonight.
Gonna be Crimson Tide ball, and this place is at a fever pitch.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this matinee doubleheader. We are live from Lynn, Massachusetts, at the campus of Lynn English High School, and this is the Greater Boston League Championship, and it's going to be the ladies taking the court first. It's going to be the Lynn English Bulldogs taking on the Everett Crimson Tide. These two teams met a few weeks back in Everett, and it was the Bulldogs emerging with a 6-point victory. That's the only loss for the Crimson Tide, and the Bulldogs, they're spotless in the loss column. They are undefeated. So chalk has risen to the top. The two top teams in the league are battling it out, and a chance to raise the hardware at the end of the day. So here we are, GBL Championship, ladies and gentlemen, live from Lynn English High School. This is EHS TV 15, bringing you the action. Quick shout out to Athletic Director Dick Newton for Lynn English for just being so hospitable, allowing us to come in here. And I know I got John Hoffman on the other side calling the game over for Lynn. So we're very happy to be here bringing you all the action. And we hope you enjoy it. So we're just moments away from the starting tip. Some last-minute instructions. Head coach Mackenzie Charles going over the game plan with Lynn English, and head coach Riley Dunn going over some X's and O's for the Tide. So they met a few weeks back. It was a 43-37 final. It was a close game back and forth. The Lady Crimson Tide actually held leads throughout the first half, but Lynn English had a big third quarter. Tide battled in the fourth, but again, too much English at the end. So here we go. Starting fives on the court for the Crimson Tide, and that starting five is going to be number 1, sophomore, Kaylee Rossi. Number 15, junior, Jane Odiari. Number 11, junior, Andrea Manley. And your senior co-captains, number 22, Maya Kernan, and number 25, Ashley Fitzgerald. And your starting five for the Lady Bulldogs. Number 2, Kelsey Mcnail, she's a junior. Number 3, junior, Rosie Chiang. Number 5, sophomore, Maddie Lorino. Number 11, freshman, Alicia Jean. And number 31, junior, Nia Sams. Kelsey Mcnail drives to the hoop, no good. Alicia Jean with the rebound. And it's Jane Odiari coming up with the loose ball. Fitzgerald navigating the Crimson Tide offense. She'll share those duties with Haley Rossi. Andrea Manley drives to the hoop. And Manley will go to the line shooting 2. That foul was on number 31, Nia Sams. That's her first personal, first foul of the game. Manley goes 1 for 2. Tide are on the board first, 1-0. This is point guard Rosie Chiang. Chiang had a big game against the Tide in Everett. She was a reason as to why Lynn English prevailed. She navigates that English Bulldog offense very well. She's a great passer. Kelsey Mcnail looking for help. Good defense by Manley. Kernan comes up with the steal. Poked away by Lorino. Kernan needs help. Good hustle by Lorino. But over to Rossi. Rossi advances up the court. Lorino races back into position, setting up on the defense. Manley now, she's gonna try it from downtown. Manley's got it, top of the key 3. Andrea Manley, and a quick 4 points for the junior. Manley is coming off a 30-point performance in the Tide's semifinal win over Medford. Maya Kernan also added 27. They combined for 57. Medford scored 49. So those two girls beat Medford by themselves. Good defense right there. That's going to be Crimson Tide basketball. Manley works around the screen set by Odiari down low. Now a screen set by Kernan. She drives. She's going to throw it off the window. That's no good. Rebound goes to Nia Sams. And we're going to have a foul called. That's going to be on number 15, Jane Odiari. That's her first. This is Maddie Larino, defended by Kernan, screen set by Sams. They switch, now Odiari's on Larino. Entry pass to Sams down low. She's gonna kick it out to Kelsey Mcnail from 3. McNail's got it. And the junior cans it from the corner. 4-3, tied on top. 5:45 left first quarter. Nice crossover by Fitzgerald, down low to Kernan. Tied corral it, down to 12 on the shot clock. That's poked away by Chiang. She's gonna keep it from going out of bounds. She tries to throw it off the foot of Rossi, they get it back. Manley tries it from downtown with 5 on the shot clock. That's no good. McNeil comes up with the rebound. Over to Larino. Larino racing by Kernan, and a reach and foul is gonna be called on number 22, Maya Kernan. That's her first personal. Bulldogs basketball down by 1, 5:18 left in the first quarter. Nice pass down low to Sams. Sams looking quickly for Larino, but Larino had moved from her spot out of bounds. Crimson Tide basketball. Odiari hands it off to Fitzgerald. And we're going to have a foul called on number 5, Maddie Larino. And that was on the shot. So Andrea Manley will go to the line shooting 2. Manley goes 2 for 2, and she has all 6 Crimson Tide points. Tied up 6-3. 5 minutes left, first quarter. Screen set by Jean. She rolls to the basket. Now over to Sams. Jean working down low on Fitzgerald, while Sams is defended by Odiari. English hangs on to it. Now Sams is going to try it off the window. That's no good. Kaylee Rossi with the rebound. Sams comes up with the steal down low. That's no good. Fitzgerald has it. Outlet pass to Manley. She drives, kicks it out. Maya Kernan, baseline jumper, no good. Odiari comes up with the offensive rebound. Finds Fitzgerald. Odiari drives. Nice defense by Alicia Jean, turning that aside. That's going to be Lynn English basketball. 4:16 left in this first quarter. 6-3 Crimson Tide. McNeil drives to the basket. And McNeil, she's going to earn herself a trip to the line. That foul was on number 1, Kaylee Rossi. McNeil goes 1 for 2. Rebound goes to English. That was number 20, Mackenzie Acevedo with the rebound. And Odiari, now it's a fight for the loose ball. Body's hitting the floor. Odiari comes up with it, gets it to Kernan. Now over to Manley. Kelsey Mcnail with English's 4 points so far. 6-4 Crimson Tide. Manly from downtown, that's no good. English basketball. Screen set by Jean. Kernan gets around it. Now it's Chiang. McNeil drives left, leaves it for Acevedo. Now it's over to Larino, down to 5 on the shot clock. Nice runner by Maddie Larino. 5 seconds remained on the shot clock. Larino's runner in the lane is good. We are tied up at 6 as we approach the 3-minute mark in the first quarter. That's poked away. Manly keeps it from going out of bounds. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Manly double team. Oh, nice look by Rossi over to Kernan. That's good looking basketball right there. Nice touch pass from Rossi to Kernan. Quick finish off the window. Tied back up by 2. Double screen at the top. Larino now resets. Nice hands by Kernan, and that's going to be last touched by Larino. So Crimson Tide basketball. We're going to have our first timeout of the game. And it's going to be the Crimson Tide taking the timeout. Head coach Riley Dunn will discuss some strategy. 2:23 left here in the first quarter, 8-6 Crimson Tide. Right now, Andrea Manley is leading the scoring for the Tide. She has 6 points. Maya Kernan has 2. Leading the way for the Bulldogs right now, Kelsey Mcnail has 4, and Maddie Larino has 2. So these two teams pretty much starting right off where they last left off when they played in what was a back and forth game. So you're seeing it once again. A lot of game left, but so far we've been pretty much back and forth at 2. For the Crimson Tide, one thing they're going to have to defend, Rosie Chiang is really good at the entry pass down low. She's looking to set her teammates up in the post. So often last game when they really got going, the post play started to get behind the defense of the Tide, and she had great touch passes finding them in down low. So that's one thing you have to watch out for. When that third quarter really shifted last game and English kind of took control, it was by way of that offensive strategy. So I know the Tide have gone over that. But right now, again, a good start for both teams. Crimson Tide basketball coming out of the timeout. 2:23 left first quarter. Tied up by 2. Now into the game for the Crimson Tide. That's number 2, Ashley Cordero. She replaces Jane Odiari. Steal by Rosie Chiang. She's looking to go to the basket. Righty floater, no good. Cordero comes down with the rebound. She needs help, gets it over to Kernan. Kernan quickly gets it up the floor to Manley. Manley's going to head to the basket, and that's good. Andrea Manley just continuing the offensive output. Tied up by 4. Screen set by Jaylee Perry, and a traveling violation is called. Crimson Tide ball. Nia Sams checks back into the game for the Bulldogs, replacing number 5, Maddie Larino. Entry pass goes to Manley. She's defended very tough by Sams, but it doesn't matter. Manley throws it in off the window. That was great defense, too. She didn't really have much room to operate, but she had just enough to get the finger roll off the window. Manley with a quick 10 points for the Tide. There's that entry pass I was talking about. This time it was well defended as Kernan came from behind to poke it away. It's going to stay with the Bulldogs. We'll have a side out of bounds. 18 seconds on the shot clock. 1:06 on the game clock left here in the first quarter. McNeil's made a three from there, and she has another one. Kelsey Mcnail off the glass. The bank's open here on Saturday. That was St. Jean Credit Union right off the window. Fitzgerald drives. Nice hoop by Ashley Fitzgerald, senior co-captain, splitting the defenders right off the window. Tied back on top, 14-9. We're approaching the final 30 seconds in this first quarter. McNeil thinks about it from the other wing, gets it over to Acevedo. Back to McNeil, swings it around to Chiang. Good ball movement from the Bulldogs, but the Tide defense with the pressure. We're gonna have a jump ball, and the arrow, it's gonna be English basketball. 12 seconds on the shot clock, 18.7 on the game clock. Inbounds goes to Sams, poked away and stolen by Manley. Manley racing it up the court. Oh, nice move by Manley. Doesn't get it to fall. Fitzgerald with the rebound. Kicks it out to Ashley Cordero. Foot on the line, that's no good. Rossi tries to keep it in play. That's out of bounds. Bulldogs basketball, 5 seconds first quarter. So the Bulldogs will have to be quick. They're gonna roll it in. Chiang picks it up around half court. Finds Nia Sams. Sams tries it from downtown. Good. Nia Sams with a big three as the final seconds tick off in the first quarter. And what a good one we have shaping up here in the Greater Boston League Championship. After 1 quarter of play, Crimson Tide hanging on to a 2-point lead, 14-12. All right, we're just moments away from beginning the second quarter. Leading scorers in that first quarter for the Crimson Tide, it's junior Andrea Manley with 10 points. And leading the way for the Bulldogs, junior Kelsey Mcnail, she has 7 points. Completing the rest of the scoring, Nia Sams has 3, Maddie Lorino has 2. And then for the Crimson Tide, Maya Kernan has 2, along with Ashley Fitzgerald. So it's going to be Crimson Tide basketball to start the second quarter, and they are up by 2, 14-12. Screen set by Kernan. Oh, nice defense by Sams, pokes it away. Chiang racing up the court. Tide do a nice job getting back. Transition defense. Bulldogs working around the perimeter. Entry pass goes to Sams. Good defense by Cordero, but Sams wasn't bothered by it, and that's 5 points for Nia Sams. We are tied up at 14. Manley. Nice hands by Kernan. Kaylee Rossi, baseline jumper, no good. Rebound goes to Jaylee Perry, who gets it over to Sams, now over to Chiang. Nice hands by Kernan, coming up with the steal. Knocked down the pass. Kernan goes all the way to the basket. But that's gonna be an offensive foul as Kelsey Mcnail takes the charge. So Lynn English basketball, 6:59 remaining in the second quarter. We are tied at 14. Again, Kernan. Kernan did a great job knocking that away. I thought it touched the baseline, but stays in play. Manley comes up with the rebound. Manley needs help. Oh, nice play, getting it over to Fitzgerald, and a nice job by Ashley to corral it with one hand. Oh, Kernan, they had Kernan open. You could see Coach Mackenzie Charles alerting her team to find Kernan the baseline. They do, they reset defensively. Odiari has it at the baseline, working against Sams. That gets knocked away. McNail comes up with the steal. McNail fires it, great pass down to Larino. She doesn't finish, perhaps bothered by Kernan's defense, but Larino stays with it, and she's gonna earn herself a trip to the line. Ashley Fitzgerald picks up the foul. So the sophomore, Maddie Larino, will be at the line shooting 2. Larino goes 1 for 2, rebound, Tide have it. English is up by 1, 15-14. Nice move by Manley. Wow, little crossover Euro. Manley throws it off the window, Tide regain the lead. That's 12 points for Manley. 16-15, Tide on top. 5:50 left in this first half. Chang drives, that doesn't fall. Rebound, it's kept alive. Larino saves it, ends up in the hands in Odiari. Larino ended up in the bleachers, but she's quickly back into play. Good hustle. Kernan loses the handle, but it ends up finding Rossi. Now over to Manley in the corner. She needs help. Nice defense by Larino. She pokes it away. Sams comes up with the steal. Nia Sams goes coast to coast, and that's a nice layup in traffic. The junior throws it in lefty, and Sams has 7 points. Manley fires it from downtown. Got it. Andrea Manley with the quick answer. How about the action in this one? 19-17, Tide on top. I hope you have the charcuterie board in front of you. You don't want to leave the living room right now. This is amping up. So 19-17, we got a timeout with 5:07. Tide up by 2. Let's just check the stat sheet right now. So Andrea Manley has 15 points here in this first half for the Crimson Tide. And for the Bulldogs, Nia Sams has 7 points to go along with Kelsey Mcnail's 7 points. Gives me a moment to kind of catch my breath a little bit, you know, a little back and forth. I need the electrolytes for this one. I think I got some water in the car. I might have to make a trip at halftime, although I know these halftimes go a little quick. You know, they don't give you too much time. Great action here in this first half of the Greater Boston League Championship. My cameraman just hooking me up with only the best water around, the old Poland Spring. Poland Spring's the way to go. It's the plastic bottle. You know, they don't have any of those, I don't know, there's an acronym that you can't have some of those plastic things. I'm not sure what it is. I never really did well in science. I was an earth science guy. All right, here we go. Both teams back on the court. Tied up by 2, 19-17, in what has been really entertaining action here in this first half. So Kelsey Mcnail will inbound for Lynn English. Gets it into Maddie Larino. 5 minutes left in this first half. 19-17 Crimson Tide. Almost stolen by Fitzgerald. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Entry pass poked away, and Manley comes up with the steal. Andrea Manley is having a game. That's 17 for Manley. 21-17 is the score for the Crimson Tide. So Manley is right now tied with Lynn English. Larino tries it from downtown. That's no good. Oh, accidental. So nice rebound right there by the freshman, Alicia Jean. Key putback. 21-19 Crimson Tide. Odiari drives baseline. That doesn't go. Kernan comes up with the rebound. And Maya Kernan, always active on the glass. She'll go to the line, shooting 2. Kernan sinks them both. She has 4 points. Tied up by 4. Loreno drives to the basket. Fight for the loose ball. And we're gonna have a jump ball. And the arrow, it's gonna stay with Lynn English. Nice hustle, both teams hitting the floor. So Lynn English basketball, 3:43 remaining in the second quarter. 23-19 tied on top. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Rosie Chiang's gonna try it from downtown. That's no good. Fitzgerald with the rebound. But there is a whistle. There is a whistle, so they're calling a shot clock violation. It's going to be Crimson Tide ball, but unable to advance on the shot clock. So Crimson Tide basketball after the shot clock violation, tied up by 4. 3:20 remaining here in this first half. Screen set by Kernan. Fitzgerald crosses back over. Looking for somewhere to go. Good defense by the Bulldogs. Kelsey Mcnail comes up with it. And jump ball is the call. It's going to stay with the Crimson Tide. Good hustle by Kelsey Mcnail hitting the floor. So Manley will inbound to Fitzgerald. 15 on the shot clock. Odiari has it at the elbow. It's going to hand it off to Rossi. She drives, leaves it for Fitzgerald just inside the 3. No good. Rebound's going to go to Andrea Manley. She's going to try it from the corner. That's no good. Rossi with the offensive rebound. Tide hitting the glass hard right now. Odiari hits the floor, and we're going to have another jump ball. Arrows going back to the Bulldogs. So if you like jump balls, we've just had about 3 in the last 30 seconds. Bulldogs basketball, 2:50 remaining in this first half. English down by 4. McNeil, nice job by Odiari to poke it away. Bulldogs retain possession. Jean finds McNeil. Down to 10 on the shot clock. Loreno's gonna try it from downtown. That's no good. Manley has it. Manley sees a lane to the hoop. We're gonna have a foul on the floor. So we'll have a side out of bounds. Fitzgerald over to Manley. She's defended by Loreno, gets a screen from Kernan, but loses it out of bounds. Bulldogs basketball. McNeil thinks about it, works it around to Acevedo. Chiang back to McNeil. McNeil tries it from the other side. That's no good. Rossi with the rebound, but she's going to have it tied up by Alicia Jean. It's going to be Crimson Tide basketball. Nice job by Rossi coming up with the rebound. Fitzgerald slowly gets the Crimson Tide offense into set. Rossi, nice pass. Oh. Oh, okay, so we had a 3-second violation on the Crimson Tide. Otherwise, that was a beautiful setup. Rossi hit a cutting Manly backdoor, but nullified due to the 3 seconds. So Bulldogs basketball down by 4. Minute and a half remaining in this first half. Knocked out of bounds by the Crimson Tide. It'll stay with English. Kernan. Oh, great hustle by Kernan. Knocks it out of bounds, goes barreling into the scorer's table. She's fine. English basketball. 15 seconds on the shot clock. 1:27 on the game clock. Acevedo makes a fake. Gets it back to Chiang. She's going to try it from downtown. That's no good, but the offensive rebound is good. It's Mackenzie Acevedo with a big offensive rebound and putback. And the Tide hanging on to a 2-point lead, 23-21. Manly gets it over to Odiari. Now Rossi has it. Rossi's going to try top of the key 3. That's no good. English basketball. 54.9 seconds remaining in the second quarter. English ball down by 2. Acevedo's going to try a corner 3. That's no good. Odiari comes up with the rebound. She needs help. And a jump ball is the call. This one's going to stay down here. Bulldogs basketball. 35.7 on the game clock. 29 seconds on the shot clock. McNeil trying to enter it down low. That's going to go through the hands of Nia Sams. Crimson Tide basketball, so they'll get it right back. They find Kernan, over to Rossi. Fitzgerald makes a move. Traveling violation is the call. .9 seconds remaining in this first half. English ball down by 2. Looks like English is going to take the last shot. Chiang finds McNeil. McNeil tries it from downtown. That's no good. Manly has it. Down to 3, 2. Manly's going to try it from half court. And that's no good. And what a first half we have here at Lynn English. It's the Crimson Tide with a 2-point lead, 23-21. You're not going to want to go anywhere, folks. This one is a good one. So more action to come in the second half. This is the Greater Boston League Championship. Don't go anywhere. We're coming back from halftime. Some stats from the first half. Leading scorer right now in the game is Everett's Andrea Manley. She has 17 points. Maya Kernan has 4 points for the Crimson Tide. For the Lynn English Bulldogs, Kelsey Mcnail has 7 points, along with Nia Sams. She also has 7 points. 23-21, Crimson Tide on top. Crimson Tide will start with the basketball. Kernan down low. Good defense by the Bulldogs, turning that aside. Chiang has it. Oh, nice hands by Fitzgerald. But Alicia Jean stays with it. That's no good. Nia Sams comes up with the rebound, and Nia Sams will go to the line shooting too. Sams hitting the glass hard right there. Sams goes 1 for 2. She has 8 points. Crimson Tide up by 1, 23-22. Odiari, she's gonna drive to the basket. Oh, just doesn't, almost went. Nice drive by Odiari. Out of bounds. Crimson Tide basketball. Nice pass to Odiari. She's at the free throw line. She's going to drive. We're going to have a foul on Nia Sams. And it was on the shot, so Jane Odiari will go to the line shooting 2. Odiari makes the second. She goes 1 for 2. And the Tide are back up by 2. 24-22. 7 minutes left in the third quarter. McNeil drives, but it's poked away by Kernan. Manley comes up with the steal. Manley's going to try it from downtown. That's good. Andrea Manley. 20 points for Andrea. 27-22, Tide. Entry pass to Alicia Jean. Out of bounds. English basketball. Again, they're looking for Jean down low. Odiari is going to tie it up. Jump ball. It's going to stay down here with Lynn English. Nice job by Odiari. 5 seconds on the shot clock, so English will have to be quick. Goes to Chang. McNeil's going to try it from downtown. That's halfway down and out, but Sams comes up with the rebound. That's no good. Manley has it. Out of bounds. English basketball. Chiang thinks about it, gets it over to Lorino. That's a 2 if it goes. Kernan comes up with the rebound. Kernan looking down the court, just over the stretch of Kaylee Rossi. Bulldogs come up with it. Lorino drives. That's no good. Rossi comes up with the rebound. Tied up by 5. 5:40 left in the third quarter. Oh, nice drop-off pass to Kernan. Good look by Fitzgerald. And Kernan will go to the line shooting 2. Kernan knocks them both down. She has 6 points. Tied up 29-22. 5.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Sams from downtown, no good. Jaylee Perry comes up with the offensive rebound. She's in traffic. But Fitzgerald comes up with it, and then, oh, she just loses it out of bounds. Fitzgerald did a great job coming up with it, but it goes out of bounds. It's going to stay with Lynn English. And a timeout has been called by Lynn English with 5:09 remaining in the third quarter. 29-22 tied on top. If you're just joining us, leading the way for the Crimson Tide, it's Andrea Manley with 20 points. And the leading scorer for Lynn English right now, Nia Sams, has 8. We're back after the timeout. It's going to be Lynn English basketball coming out of the timeout. 29-22 Crimson Tide. 5:09 third quarter. Kelsey Mcnail. Working it around. Chiang over to McNeil. Tide doing a good job of eliminating any entry passes down low. Really stacking the zone down low nicely. Drive to the hoop. That's Mackenzie Acevedo. And she'll go to the line shooting 2. Foul called on number 15, Jane Odiari. So big free throws coming up for Acevedo. Acevedo goes 1 for 2. Rossi with the rebound. Over to Manley. Out of bounds. English basketball. Chiang, nice drive baseline. That doesn't go. Alana Espinoza with the offensive rebound. Jump ball is called, and it's going to be Crimson Tide basketball. Out of bounds. Good defense by Kelsey Mcnail, forcing the turnover. It's going to be English basketball, 4:09, third quarter. That's going to be a traveling violation. Nice job by Kaylee Rossi, staying on the defender there nicely. So Kernan will inbound to Fitzgerald. We're under 4 minutes left in this third quarter, tied up by 6. Looking for Manley. Why not? She's had a big game. No good. Espinoza with the rebound. Alicia Jean throws it off the window. That's no good. Acevedo with another big offensive rebound. That was a nice pass right there. Good basketball. Kelsey McNeil found a cutting Alana Espinoza for the hoop. Bulldogs down 4. Fitzgerald working on McNeil, looking for some help. Gets it over to Manley. It's out of bounds. Lynn English basketball. Bulldogs starting to collect some momentum now. They're gaining. Good defense by the Tide. And Ashley Cordero is going to come up with the steal. Fitzgerald quickly gets it up the court to Manley, downtown. Got it. Andrea Manley, 23 points. That's Andrea's 4th 3 of the game. 32-25, Crimson Tide. Acevedo drives baseline. And Kernan turns it aside, but a foul is called. So Mackenzie Acevedo will go to the line, shooting 2. Acevedo knocks it down. 32-26, tied up by 6. No good Fitzgerald's runner. Alicia Jean comes up with the rebound. That's no good. Rebound goes to Fitzgerald. And a timeout called by Coach Dunn in the Crimson Tide. with 1:47 remaining in the third quarter. Crimson Tide up by 6. We're back after the timeout. Crimson Tide basketball. 1:47 remaining in the third quarter. 32-26 Crimson Tide lead. Odiari hands it off to Fitzgerald. That's stolen by McNeil. Rosie Chiang. McNeil down low to Sams. Oh, nice move by Sams. Off the window. That was a nice move by Nia Sams. That's 10 points for the junior. Tied up by 4. Andrea Manley working in the corner. Gonna get it to Odiari, down to 10 on the shot clock. And Jane Odiari fouled on the shot. Odiari will go to the line, shooting 2. Big free throw right there by Jane Odiari. Odiari knocks them both down. Those are big. Tied back up by 6. 1 minute remaining, third quarter. McNeil's drive's no good, but Alicia Jean with the cleanup on the glass. And the freshman will go to the line shooting 2. Jean goes 1 for 2. Tied up by 5. 40 seconds left, third quarter. Good defense by McNeil. And we're gonna have a jump ball. It's gonna go over to Lynn English. The junior, Kelsey Mcnail, doing a nice job defensively. Alicia Jean checks out of the game, replaced by, looks like Jaylee Perry just checked in. Or it might have been Nia Sams. About a 4-second difference from shot clock to game clock. Chiang's gonna try it from downtown. That's a big 3 by Rosie Chiang. We got a 2-point game here, tied on top. Final 10 seconds of the third quarter. Manley goes behind the back. She's gonna drive to the hole. And we're gonna get a foul coming up. Andrea Manley will go to the line shooting 2. Jaylee Perry picking up the personal. Manley goes 1 for 2. She has 24 points. Last 3 seconds of the third. Jaylee Perry's gonna have to get rid of it. And that's how this third quarter will end. It's the Crimson Tide up by 3, 35-32. Fourth quarter coming up in this Greater Boston League Championship. Fourth quarter is about to begin. Andrea Manley continues her offensive production. She's the game's leading scorer with 24 points for the Crimson Tide. She has 4 3-pointers. And the leading scorer for Lynn English is junior Nia Sams. She has 10 points. Crimson Tide have led after all 3 quarters so far. They had a 14-12 lead after the first. They were up by 2 at the half, and they're up by 3. As you can see, this game has been very close. So 1 more quarter left potentially, unless, of course, we go into extras. We'll see. 8 minutes on the board. Fourth quarter, tied by 3. And Everett will have the ball first. Screen set by Kernan. Manley goes back to Kernan. Kernan drives. Off the window, no good. Rebound, Maddie Larino. Bulldogs working it around the perimeter. Larino for 3, got it. Maddie Larino with the big 3. We are tied up at 35. Manley drives, and a foul is called. That's going to be the 5th team foul against Lynn English. 2 more, and it will be a penalty situation. Fitzgerald to Odiari. Jane drives to the basket. That's no good, but Odiari will go to the line, shooting 2. Odiari knocks down the second. She goes 1 for 2. She has 4 points. Tied back up by 1, 36-35. 7 minutes left, fourth quarter. Kelsey Mcnail down low to Espinoza. That's no good. Kernan with the rebound. Over to Manley. Screen set by Kernan. Manley drives left, leaves it for Rossi in the corner. Rossi back to Manley. Manley from the corner. Got it! Andrea Manley, 27 points. Tied up by 4, 6.5, fourth quarter. Mcnail from the wing. That's no good. Kernan with the rebound. She's forcing the action. Oh, Alicia Jean with the big steal. Tide are gonna have to get back. They do, nice job getting back in transition. Bulldogs setting up in the half court, over to Jean, and that's gonna be a foul. And that is the 4th foul on Jane Odiari. I'll have to keep an eye on that. One more and she'll be fouled out. So Jane Odiari with 4. Nice pass down low to Sams. That was a great feed by McNeil. Good finish by Sams. She has 12, and the Bulldogs are down by 2, 39-37. Illegal screen set on Everett. So Bulldogs basketball with 5:50 remaining in this fourth quarter. English down by 2. Another nice move by Sams. Nia Sams starting to take over down in the block. She has 14. This game is tied. Timeout, Crimson Tide with 5:37 remaining. Nia Sams really getting it going. When she catches it in the block, she likes to spin back to the other side. She's been very good throwing it off the window. The Tide might need to help out a little bit down there. As soon as that pass goes in, we'll see if Coach Dunn tries to send a blitzer. But right now, we're tied up at 39. We're back after the Crimson Tide timeout. And it's Everett basketball. 5:37 remaining in this fourth quarter. Tied up at 39. Fitzgerald defended by Acevedo. Looking for some help. Gets it over to Manley, who catches it in traffic, finds Rossi, but they're going to get her for steps. Traveling violation. They go to Sams. Now Acevedo, baseline, good defense by the Tide. Manley and Kernan giving her nowhere to go. Traveling violation, great job by the Tide defensively. Kernan and Manley quick on the trap, forcing the turnover. And you could see when Sams got that entry pass, she saw a double team, which the Tide are gonna have to employ. Sams has really been carrying it offensively for English. Manley gets it over to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald driving to the left, throws it in off the window, no good. Odiari with the big offensive rebound. Rossi finds Kernan, baseline, that's no good. And Sams comes up with the rebound. Nice job by Kernan to knock that away. It'll stay with Lynn English, but great defense by the senior co-captain. You could see, again, English, no secret, trying to get it to Sams. You got Rosie Chiang open in the corner. All right, Tide see it. Nice job by Manley coming up with the steal, but Chiang takes it right back. Now Rossi has it. Good job by Kaylee Rossi. Kernan puts the brakes on. Fitzgerald has it at the top. Down to 15 on the shot clock. Screen set by Odiari. And that's going to be off the foot of Ashley Fitzgerald. It's going to go back to Lynn English. 4 minutes, 8 seconds left in this fourth quarter. Still tied at 39. Screen set by Sams. Chiang takes it. No good. Kernan with the rebound. Over to Fitzgerald. Kernan's going to try it from downtown. That's good. Maya Kernan. Top of the key three. How's that for big? Wow. Kernan. That's 9 points for Kernan. Tied up by 3. Another nice entry pass. This time Sams doesn't finish. Kernan with the rebound. Now Maya's really starting to take over the glass. Rossi has a nice move by Rossi. Little crossover, somehow just rims out. Oh, everything else was awesome right there. All right, Tide need to get back defensively. English now looking to move. 42-39, tied up by 3. We approach the 3-minute mark in this fourth quarter. Acevedo over to Chiang. Now they swing it around to Mcnail. Back around the perimeter they go, swinging it around. Nice job defensively, the Tide clogging up the paint. Down to 6 on the shot clock. Cover that 3. Nice job defensively. Manley comes up with the steal. Great job by the Tide. Crimson Tide basketball, 2 minutes, 40 seconds left, fourth quarter. Fires it down low to Odiari. She's got help behind her. But that's going to be out of bounds. English that time turning up the heat defensively. Both teams really making it tough for the opposition defensively. And this is what a championship game is all about. This game has been back and forth. The largest lead in this game, Crimson Tide held a 7-point lead. Otherwise, this has been a 2-point game back and forth. Really outstanding action by both teams. Here we go, 2.5 minutes left, fourth quarter. Bulldogs ball down by 3. Entry pass goes to Perry, and Perry's basket's good. Jay Lee Perry, the freshman, throws it in off the window, and Perry will have a chance at a 3-point play. And this free throw can tie the game. That was Perry's first basket, and it's a big one. No good, but the Bulldogs come up with the rebound. Alicia Jean has it. That's no good. Manley comes up with the rebound. And we're going to have a timeout called by Coach Dunn and the Crimson Tide. With 2:17 remaining in the fourth quarter, Crimson Tide hanging on to a 1-point lead. I gotta have a sip of my Poland Spring right now. All right, so we're coming back after this timeout. 2 minutes, 17 seconds left. Crimson Tide up by 1. And folks, we want to remind you, don't go anywhere with this feed, this broadcast, because Game 2 of the Greater Boston League Championship doubleheader is next. The boys will be taking the court. The Lynn English boys, your 2-time defending state champion, will be taking on the Everett Crimson Tide. And again, in the boys circuit, that's the only loss for the Crimson Tide. It came to these very Bulldogs. So that's what's next. But before we get there, we got a wild one finishing up here on the girls' circuit. It's the Crimson Tide up by 1 with the basketball. Andrea Manley, 27 points. She's been leading the way. She gets a nice feed by Rossi. Manley, no good. Lorino with the rebound. Oh, I thought Jane Odiari had a good bit at that one. Looked like Odiari may have taken that out. And that foul is on Jane Odiari, and that's going to be her 5th foul. So the junior is fouled out of this one. And that's a big loss for the Crimson Tide. Jane really impacts the glass. So 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. A 1-and-1 situation is coming up for Lynn English's number 5, Maddie Lorino. And Coach Dunn, she's going to have to see who she's putting in for Odiari. She's going to go to number 2, Ashley Cordero, it looks like. So it's going to be the sophomore, Maddie Lorino, going to the line. There's a brief little timeout right here. You have a few seconds to decide who you're going to put in when a player fouls out. So the Crimson Tide will go with number 2, junior Ashley Cordero. She'll replace Jane Odiari. A good game by Odiari. And it's Lorino at the line. This is a 1-and-1. She makes it, she gets a second. Rebound, it's up for grabs. Here we go. English down by 1. That's right, that's a violation. Let's see. Actually waiting on the official's call here. So Loreno made the mistake. Loreno accidentally stepped over the foul line, and that is a violation. So no free throw attempt there. Tide basketball up by 1. 2:04 remaining in this fourth quarter. Fitzgerald over to Rossi. Rossi drives over to Fitzgerald. Out of bounds, English basketball. Nice look by Rossi. Tide are gonna have to dig in defensively. Bulldogs basketball down by 1. 1 minute, 40 seconds left in this fourth quarter. Nice hands by Kernan, coming up with the steal. What a huge play. Now Manley has it. She's pushing the action. Manley behind the back, defended very tightly by McNeil. Now over to Rossi. Rossi makes a nice move to the hoop. That's no good. Kernan's rebound. Oh, Kernan almost put it in, but Maya will go to the line shooting 2. Kernan really leaving her prints on the glass. Kernan goes 1 for 2, and she has 10 points. Tied up by 2, 43-41. Timeout called by Coach Charles and the Bulldogs with 1:22 remaining in this fourth quarter. Tied up by 2. Big defensive possession coming up here for the Crimson Tide when they come out of this timeout. If you're Lynn English, you're going to continue to try to work it down low looking for Nia Sam. She's leading the way with 14 points. But the Tide really have stepped up that pressure and trying to defend down low. They've been sending a double team that way, which is what they have to do. With that being said, you still don't want to abandon the perimeter too much. Between Maddie Loreno, Rosie Chiang, and Kelsey Mcnail, they have 3 very able three-point shooters there. But again, you got to think English is going to try to get it down low. So let's see what happens here after this timeout. All right, both teams are back onto the court. English basketball after the timeout. Goes into Loreno. She looks over to Alicia Jean, back to Loreno. Nice D by the Tide. Down to 12 on the shot clock. Chiang defended by Manley. They're going to down to 5 on the shot clock. Kernan all over Loreno. McNeil's going to have to get rid of it. That's a 3 if it goes. No good. Rebound kept alive. Kernan comes up with it. Big rebound by Kernan in the Tide. Final 50 seconds in this fourth quarter. Manley's going to have to get it over half court. She does just get it over. And we got a foul called on Kelsey Mcnail. And that's a 1-and-1 situation. So Andrea Manley will go to the line shooting 1-and-1. Manley has 27 points. Manley doesn't make it, but Kernan comes up with the offensive rebound. And what a play by Maya Kernan. The senior co-captain has taken over the glass, and that was evidence right there. Coming up with the offensive rebound, fouled on the shot, 2 free throws coming up for Kernan. Back after the brief timeout, Maya Kernan at the line, shooting 2. Kernan knocks down the first. Big free throws by the senior. She has 12 points, and the Crimson Tide are up by 4 with 40 seconds left. Fitzgerald hits the 4, and it's a mad dash for the loose ball. Alicia Jean has it. And we got a timeout called by Coach Charles and the Bulldogs with 32.6 remaining in this fourth quarter, tied on top 45-41. So right now it's a Lynn English timeout with 32.6 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. The Bulldogs are down by 4. But as you know, 32 seconds can be an eternity in basketball time. It's not quite the microwave seconds we know at home. So let's see what the Bulldogs have in store offensively. Let's see if the Tide are up to the challenge. Kelsey Mcnail will inbound for English. Goes to Maddie Loreno. She's going to try a corner. That's a 2. No good. Jaylee Perry with the rebound. That's no good. Manley with the rebound. Manley's going to need some help. Nope. Manley dribbling around. We're going to have a timeout called by Coach Dunn and the Crimson Tide with 20.9 seconds left. So timeout called before the foul, so the Tide will still have to inbound, and then if you're English, you're going to have to foul immediately. They might try to, maybe for a second or two, try to come up with a quick steal, but otherwise they'll have to foul. And the next foul will be the double bonus, so no more 1-and-1 for Everett on the next foul. They will get 2 free throws no matter what. The team foul situation, English has 9, Everett has 8. If you're the Crimson Tide right now, you either want to try to get the ball either to Kernan or Manley. They're 2 of their top free throw shooters. Odiari's one of their better free throw shooters, but they lost her a few minutes ago when she fouled out. And Fitzgerald can knock them down too. So let's see with the Tide who they try to get this to. Again, they definitely want to get that inbounds in without any trouble. And as long as they can have possession, English is going to have to probably foul. Over to Kernan. That's who you want to get it to. Oh. That's going to be out of bounds. English basketball. So English accomplishes what they wanted. No fouls, no free throws given up. They're going to get the basketball back with 15.8 seconds left. So the Bulldogs really turning up the heat defensively. Let's see if the Tide have an answer. Just over the hands of Kernan. Now Loreno racing it up the floor quickly. Nice deep by Fitzgerald. She knocks it out of bounds, but it'll allow her teammates to reset defensively. 10 seconds remaining in this fourth quarter. English basketball, they're down by 4. What a steal. Kernan pokes it away to Rossi, and Rossi is going to get fouled. The sophomore will go to the line shooting 2. Maya Kernan once again coming up with the key defensive play. 7.5 seconds left, and it's Kaylee Rossi. She can help put this one away. Rossi knocks down the first. Big-time free throws from the sophomore. Kaylee Rossi, ice water in her veins. That's how you knock it down. Tied up by 6. Loreno's going to try it from downtown. That's no good. The final seconds are going to tick off. And the Everett Lady Crimson Tide, they will be crowned Greater Boston League champions. How about that? Head coach Riley Dunn and the girls. What a story. Amazing job by the Lady Crimson Tide. Victorious in this one, 47-41. That's what it's all about. So after the Crimson Tide lost their only game of the year to English by 6, they return the favor and win by 6. Little ceremony at the court. Nice job by the Lady Crimson Tide. A nice show of sportsmanship here. Both teams leaving it all out in the floor. Both teams playing tough. Both teams should be proud, representing the Greater Boston League very well. And I got to say, I'm so excited to have Lynn English and Lynn Classical in the Greater Boston League now. It's going to be League of Champions. I mean, this is where it's at. So proud to have those two teams in it. They do it right, and glad to have you on board. Great hosts. Want to really credit the Lynn English administration, the supporting staff, athletic director Dick Newton and his staff really taking care of us today. And there's a good look at our Lady Tide hoisting the trophy. How about the game by Andrea Manley, dropping 27? Or your senior co-captain, she's currently holding the trophy. That's Maya Kernan. Kernan had 12 points, a number of steals, a number of rebounds. Ashley Fitzgerald, senior co-captain, the glue of the team. Just go down the list. Jane Ordiari, what a game she had. Ashley Cordero providing minutes off the bench. And head coach Riley Dunn, her first year at the helm, taking over for longtime head coach and our current athletic director, Tammy Turner. What a job Coach Dunn has done. When the first practice came just a few weeks ago, they had 6 girls at practice. Girls are working, right? They have to, get their shifts in at work. They had 6 girls. Basketball's 5-on-5. They didn't even have enough for full scrimmages, but the girls stuck with it. They kept grinding every day, and here they are. Their one loss came to this very strong Lynn English team, and they came out, chalk rose to the top, and the tide has risen. We want to take it here. This is great, really great stuff. So just very proud of our Everett Lady Crimson Tide, and again, a major tip of the hat to the Lynn English Lady Bulldogs. What a game they had and what a season they had. But it's the Lady Crimson Tide raising the championship hardware, and for at least the next year, that Greater Boston League championship, it'll be residing at 100 Elm Street. On behalf of Josh Delgazo and my crew, again, we don't want you to go anywhere. We got another one coming up. It's the boys' turn. So another one coming up, coming at you live, EHS TV 15. Looking forward to bringing you the action. Stay with us.